Henry Tillman is known primarily for his 2 amateur wins over Mike Tyson and defeating Willie DeWitt at the Los Angeles Olympics for the heavyweight gold medal in 1984. He was a reformed convict, learning to box in the Chino Youth Authority and coming under the guidance of the prison camp physical education instructor Mercer Smith. Smith coached the former drug dealer from the streets of South Central Los Angeles to the Olympic gold medal. Now, as a professional, Tillman campaigns in the cruiserweight division, and 4 months prior to this bout, he had a barn burner with Burt Cooper where he lost a close decision. Tyrone Booz, like Tillman, was no stranger to the prison system. He did a 2-year stint in 1976 for a second-degree sexual assault conviction, and by 1988 was on probation for another sexual assault case. In the boxing ring, he has moved from the light heavyweight division to cruiserweight, and his ability is a little better than his record indicates. He's already been in with the likes of Eddie Mustafa Muhammad, Evander Holyfield, and Burt Cooper. He's lost to all 3, but goes the distance each time. There are no Candymen on my record, Booz would later say.
First, I thought that I was being rushed in with top contender guys, Eddie Mustafa, Evander Holyfield. I really didn't have the confidence in myself that I could really whoop these guys. And it kind of bothered me a whole lot. But now that I'm fighting these guys, I am one of the best cruiserweights out there in the world, and I can handle it.
A lot of people thought that Booz won this fight. For 12 rounds, he and Cooper were toe-to-toe, but he's put that loss, frankly, behind him.
Burt Cooper is history. I should have knocked Burt Cooper out. It was like 11-month layoff coming back from my management problems, and I thought that I fought a hell of a fight. I should have knocked Burt Cooper out. I should have put him away. I just had 1 knockout to my credit, and that bothers me a whole lot. But I had the power, and I can put a lot of combinations together to whoop any of these guys. I mean, like, you know, I see the sky's the limit for Tyrone Booz. I'm not scared of Tillman. I'm not going to back down from Tillman. He's an Olympic gold medal winner that carries a whole lot. I want his gold. That's what I want. I want his gold. I've been out here before in Lake Tahoe. I got robbed, and I'm coming out here to win. I mean, I'm a fight. I'm a fight with every breath in my body.
Well, my last fight was with a guy by the name of Oscar Holman. And what I learned from the fight was to take my time and use my God-given talent and not look for the knockout. Just put everything together, accumulation of punches, and a knockout or come just by doing what I'm told in the corner, and I really listen to my corner.
Holman went in 6, and what does Tillman have, strategy-wise, planned for Booz tonight?
It's like I do with everyone else. I'm a boxing, put my punches together and take my time. And if a knockout comes, it comes. If not 10 rounds, then I'm in shape for 10 rounds. Well, I try to make every fight an important fight for me, and this one is just as important as a title fight. And I'm taking it as not lightly. Booz is not a lightly guy to take. He, has a lot of experience, and he's been there with some good guys, so you can't take him lightly. I'm going to have to go in there and just do my thing, and that's what I'm planning on doing. That's what I'm going to do tonight, and I'm taking this fight very seriously.
So things are not all too happy for Mercer Smith across the way, and now Tillman and Booz. And Booz, Sean O'Grady, is an outstanding fighter. He's been in with all of these guys, tough guys to be sure, and he's there from the start to the end. And yet, Tillman has knocked out 9 opponents, so it'll be interesting to see what transpires factor tonight.
He's got to keep Booz out on the end of that left jab, and he's doing it here in this first round. Booz getting down real low, trying to come in underneath that jab. There's a good overhand right by Booz.
Booz fought Burt Cooper up in Lake Tahoe in a fight we televised a month and a half ago, and a good many people thought that Tyrone had won that fight. But in his corner, Charlie Cruz and others were quite frank to tell him, as the fight wore on, you've got to put more combinations together or you're not going to win this fight. He gave a good account of himself against Cooper, who's a tough cookie, as we all know. Minute 30 remaining here in the opening round, and for these 2 cruiserweights, and they're 2 of the best, they're starting out in a big hurry. Not much, I'll see what this guy's got, and I'll just tentatively put this hand out and what have you. They've thrown some bombs at each other here early on.
To me, Tillman has got excellent lateral movement. He uses that jab, then he moves around to the side. What he's doing is he's moving around behind Tyrone Booz. If he can move around there and throw a big right hand, he can catch him every time.
Minute remaining in round 1. It will be interesting to see if Booz is able to avoid that jab, to get inside where he would be best suited against Tillman, who is taller and who has the longer reach. Tillman is about 6'3", and Booz is 5'11". He's not a small man, but when you stand there looking at a guy 6'3" with a long reach, it presents a problem.
Tillman fighting a smart fight, using those combinations and then moving. The Tyrone Booz got in, that overhand right. Good left hook. Booz come out the first of this round. We're in the second round action here live.
Out of Booz's corner, he was told between rounds, back this guy up. Make him fight going backwards. Not many guys can do that, and hit him with that right hand to the body. I think pouring in, he's bound to catch some leather doing it.
And with the lateral movement that I was talking about in the first round, Tillman, it's hard to get him to go backwards.
Got caught between the top and second rope, half out of the ring, and Tillman's being cautioned about it, but Tillman didn't see where he was. Then in the heat of battle, they were throwing punches, and in one brief second, Tyrone Booz just slipped between the ropes.
Richard Steele is right on top of the action. He's one of the best referees in the world. He's doing a fantastic job here tonight.
Booz covering up, holding his gloves up high, protecting his chin. Those shots by Tillman are pretty much falling on the defense, not getting through. Tillman sticks out that jab. He's very nice with that jab. Good solid, but he's just throwing one punch at a time. I'd like to see him jab a couple of times, Sean, and throw that right hand behind it. But
he's not much of a combination puncher, but he doesn't have to be at this point.
So far, he's not doing it. See, jab twice, that's all right. Moving, jab. They hit him some of his best shots. He'd get him inside. He can throw some leather on. Now Tillman fighting his way back. Lands a couple of solid shots on Booz.
That was one of the few times that we've seen Tillman's back to the ropes. Now Booz has his back to the ropes.
His right hands have been blocked, but the right hand to the body wasn't. And even though Booz is catching him on his left glove, they still hurt. And there's solid shots by Tillman to the body and then to the jaw. And either Booz is hurt or he's trying to lull Tillman into a false sense of security. Tillman scores with the right. Now Booz comes back with a couple lefts and rights, and Richard Steele says keep him up. Overhand right by Booz doesn't score.
Tillman also told him to keep him up.
Tillman supposedly has a shot at De Leon. If he wins this one tonight, they're talking about a title go. Booz says, hey, if I beat him, I'll get the shot, right? Well, we'll find out how it goes. The end of round 2 coming up. We'll be back after this. Tyrone Booz, they come out for round number 3. And again, the admonition to Booz between rounds, you've got to throw that right hand to the body. Move your head from side to side when he's throwing those punches that you're blocking. Why the judges are influenced. You look like you're catching a lot of solid left hand to the body, and that had to hurt Tillman as he danced away, and it was really a very good left hook to the body thrown by Booz, right in that liver area. Booz has got to do that, Sean, if he's going to slow down. Some guys that can really put you away. Tim Brody's another guy who can punch.
Booz turned southpaw. Might be a wise move.
Well, he hit Tillman a shot to the body with the right hand and caught a right hand up the side of the head. Tillman the taller of the two men. He's in gray, and Booz is in the red trunks, crimson white. They came in at 193 3/4 for Booz, 192 for Tillman. So Booz has got 1 3/4 pounds pull on him, but he is, of course, about 4 inches shorter. Tillman is 6'3", Booz is 5'11". That height and reach.
Booz needs to close the gap. He's staying right out on the end of Tillman's punches. Needs to move in about a half step into Tillman and try to work those body punches and come up to the head.
Round 3, and we've got a minute remaining in the round. Neither man has been down. Neither man has been really tagged. It was a pretty good overhand right thrown by Booz in the opening round, and that right hand was heavyweight champion Sean O'Grady. And we're looking at 2 of the best cruiserweights in the red trunks. That's Tyrone Booz out of Hartford, Connecticut. And in the gray, out of Los Angeles, the heavyweight gold medal winner in the '84 Olympics, Henry Tillman. Oh, there's a solid punch thrown by Booz. He caught him on the back of the hand, and now Steele says, don't turn your back. And the old adage, protect yourself at all times, ought to be something that you really have tattooed right on your forehead.
Booz saw the opportunity there, and when you get wound up, sometimes there's no stopping you.
Boy, and Tillman seems to take it as a personal affront because he has just unleashed a solid set of combinations on Booz, who is not all that easy to hit. He covers up pretty good. He works his way inside. Remember, Booz has been a lot of distances with a lot of tough guys. Nice combinations thrown there by Tillman. He takes a right hand, misses, comes back with a left.
It's so hard to fight a fighter like Tyrone Booz. Notice how high he's keeping his hands. You hit those hands and you can't get a real clean shot off on him. During the corners, between the rounds, Johnny Duke, the corner man, Tillman staying in there fighting Booz's fight. Tillman should keep him out at long distance, which he's not doing in this round.
Tillman trying to throw that uppercut to drive a wedge between those protective gloves that Booz has got up right around his jaw. Minute remaining here in round number 4. These two guys toe-to-toe and belting away. Either man has been down. Booz is the smaller of the two men. That is shorter, and with a shorter reach. Tillman not using his reach and height to any great advantage here. He's right inside, slugging away with Booz, and more than holding his own, I might say.
Ooh,
Booz
good
with a
right
pretty good shot, and another right hand thrown in there by Booz.
Again, Tillman is fighting Booz's fight.
That's right, Sean. I would think he'd be out jabbing, moving, throwing a left and a right and stepping away, but
Maybe making an easy fight hard by hanging in there.
all right, we're coming down to the close of round number 4. We'll be back to see all about round 5 right after the bell. He says that he's got the punch to knock people out, so we'll wait and see. Tillman right forehead to forehead with him, has him against the ropes. And Booz every now and then will drop a hand and throw a punch as Tillman tries to solve the defense. Booz pushes him away. Tillman was up early in this round on his toes, jabbing, dancing, and moving, and then decided to get nose to nose with Booz, and they stand slugging away at each other.
In Booz's defense, Tom Kelly, anybody in any weight division has a chance of knocking anybody else out on any given day.
That's right, I tell you.
So many factors play a big role in getting into that ring.
You catch him coming in, and you just nail him, hit him on time, as Sugar Ray used to say, and you put him away. Talking with Gene Fulmer earlier, he said, I asked him about the left hand that Ray hit him with to take the title back. And he said, you can look it up in the book. They say it was the greatest left hand ever thrown. And he said, I'm living proof that it was. He said, I caught it flush on the chin. He said it was a magnificent punch. What a great fighter Fulmer was. I mean, what a career of longevity.
Good work from these two guys. We're seeing,
Booz is there. Tillman nailed him with the right hand, and Booz is covering up. Booz is in the corner. Tillman trying to level him now, trying to batter him to the canvas. Booz doesn't go down easily. We'll see what happens. There's the bell. Tyrone Booz caught one. His eyes are blinking as he comes back over, but don't think this isn't one tough cookie.
so hard to hit that Booz is. You know, when he got hurt, he put his hands up.
He didn't hurt you, and I know he didn't hurt you. But you got to punch right back, you understand? After he shot that good punch, he didn't do nothing. You understand? Overhand, right hand. You didn't do nothing. You come back and see how he likes it. But you ain't coming back and standing there just posing. You can't win fights posing.
Come on, Tyrone, now. I thought you wanted this damn fight. Because you're not fighting like you wanted. You hear me?
Yeah.
But get out there and fight, goddammit.
Here's a look at that action again. There's the right hand, right on the button. Good shot. Turned Booz all the way around. Nice shot by Tillman. No follow-up, though. There's the right hand. He missed.
I tell you, he tried,
so
Sean.
Hard.
Yeah.
He is so hard to hit, Booz is. Whenever he gets hurt, he puts his hands up. It's hard to get him in between those hands being up. What Tillman may do is try to pull his hands down with like his left hand, try to pull his hands down, then come in with a right.
I love the strategy that Johnny Duke and George Cruz were laying on Booz in the corner. They opened up by saying, we know he didn't hurt you, and he knows he didn't hurt you, but you didn't come back and punch your way out of that corner. So everybody thinks that he hurt you in that round. And then the other one was, I thought you wanted to win this fight. You've got to go out there and throw some punches. Now here's Booz with a solid right hand that puts Tillman back in the corner. We'll see if Booz, he's not laying a glove on us. Yeah, and the fighter says, well, you better check the referee then, because somebody's slugging me out there pretty good.
Big right hand by Tillman, and he came back with a left hook.
They're standing toe-to-toe, and they're shouting from Booz's corner, he's hurt, meaning Tillman. Well, Tillman may be hurt, but he certainly gives no indication of it. Booz covering up, trying to protect against those punches of Tillman, and they're almost in a pose out there now.
These fighters again head-to-head. Tillman hanging in there with Tyrone Booz instead of boxing out the end of the punches.
But I don't think this is the type of fight that is helping Booz with the judges. I mean, he's not throwing that many punches. He's being held against the ropes. Tillman forcing the fight, throwing most of the punches. That's nice combination work by Booz. But Tillman comes right back. Now Booz with an uppercut.
One hand sets the other. Tyrone Booz throws his right hand and sets him up for his left hand. That's the way he's punching. He's got to punch in combinations to win this fight. Less than 30 seconds to go in this round.
Which happens to be round number 6, and Booz looks a little bit tired. Tillman, too, looks a little bit used up. But Tillman seems content to stand flat-footed. No more jabbing and moving. He's content. Oh, good right hand by Tillman. He figures Booz can't hurt him. He drives Booz back into the rope. Just a handful of seconds left in this one. Round 6 will be gone. We'll be back to see about round 7 after this.
Booz is such an evasive fighter. It's so hard to hit him solid. He's got his hands up. He's just trying to hang in there. Hard fighter to fight. About the only defense that you can have under a fighter like that is to try to pull his hands down and then hit him.
Combination work by Tillman as we're into round number 7. And Tillman looks very confident in this fight now, not that he wasn't going yet.
Good uppercut by Booz. Less than a minute to go in this round.
When Booz gets inside and decides he's going to work, why, he's effective. But he just doesn't have a very high work ethic in this fight for some strange reason, and Tillman has taken the play away from him. Those shots to the body thrown by Booz have got to hurt, and yet he doesn't throw enough of them, it would appear. I should think he would have a tough time convincing the judges, and Tillman's all over, swarming on him, left and right. Tillman throwing caution to the wind, and now Booz comes back with a left of his own that scores, misses with the right. Tillman is toe-to-toe with him, Sean O'Grady. He ought to be up there dancing, jabbing, and moving away, but he's content, figuring that Booz can't hurt him, I guess.
Tillman has got great rotation in his shoulders. Whenever he throws a punch, he puts all of his shoulders and all of his weight into it.
We're coming to the end of round number 7. Tillman is really dominating the fight. We'll be back after this. Detroit in the junior middleweight title bout tonight that Thomas the Hitman Hearns retained his title with a unanimous decision over tough Doug DeWitt. And in a earlier bout on that same card, why, Iran Barkley defeated James Kinchin, who had lost only one fight coming into that. Kinchin, who hadn't been in the ring all that much in the last year or so. We saw him here on ESPN here at the Sahara earlier in the year. But Kinchin loses to Barkley in a fight earlier. Such a tough fighter. He's hard to discourage, and he covers up, falls into a shell. Now he's all bent over there now, and Tillman looking at him, wondering, are you hurt? It's hard to tell, and the crowd is unhappy that Booz is not really doing some fighting of his own. Now he throws a series of punches, and Tillman is right there to match him blow for blow.
Booz about to lose his trunks here in the 8th round.
Minute 30. Well, that might be the most surprising thing or the entertaining thing he's done all night if his trunks come down. I don't know.
Tillman hit so hard he knocks his trunks down. I don't know. Those trunks of Booz continue to fall down. They're probably full of sweat, and they're so heavy. On the inside again, Tillman landing punch after punch.
Well, he seems to have to be so confident, overconfident, really. I guess he just, with utter disdain, walks by throwing punches. I just haven't been able to do it. And I tell you, Sean, you know yourself, there are times that Tillman belts Booz around the ring when, no matter the best intentions, you just can't get off first. You just can't throw a punch.
Oh, absolutely, and that may be a sign of being a little bit over the hill. Right? You didn't hear me say that, but being a little bit over the hill, you quit. You just can't get out. You just go 10 rounds and you can't get off the whole fight. But even not only did his cornermen tell him to throw punches, the referee Richard Steele visited Booz's corner between rounds and told him, said, if you don't throw punches this round, I'm going to stop the fight. Booz looked up to him and said, this isn't California. Richard Steele has got control of that fight. He's got to have control of the fight.
And in our pre-fight conversations, why, he was quite adamant about the fact that he came halfway across the country, lost to Cooper. This time he was coming back to win, and he hasn't really done much toward it. A minute remaining. Now, that's not to say that he might just uncork one here that would put Tillman on the back of his lap. But so far, we haven't seen much in the way of offense from Tyrone Booz.
Tillman, a great fighter in all phases. He moves well. He throws punches going backwards and forwards. He's a good all-around fighter. Got a good array of punches.
Number 10, and they'll touch gloves, Booz and Tillman. Booz in the red, Tillman in the gray, and Booz comes out and shows more enthusiasm for the fight in the opening seconds of round 10 than he has in any of the previous rounds.
Booz knows he has to knock him out to win the fight. He's trying to put some pressure on him this round. However, I believe he's starting way too late.
Well, I'll say this for him. He hasn't used himself 3 minutes. Jab him, move him, and stay away from him, and he's going to have this one won. Mercer Smith was recalling another moment for Tillman in the corner between rounds when he said, "This is it, baby. One more round for the gold," probably trying to shake up a memory from the Olympics of '84. Well, there's certainly some gold available for Tillman, one would think. They are talking title shot. He'd like to get in with De Leon. He'd like to get another shot at Bert Cooper, maybe. I don't know. Cooper's talking title against Holyfield, but Smokin' Joe, the last time we saw him, said, "I'm not rushing my man. He's back in the gym and maybe doing parade and dancing now, bouncing up and down as if to say, 'You're tired? Baby, I've just begun.'" Tillman looks to be finishing, and now Booz grinning at him.
What a showman this Tillman is. He likes that crowd. Throwing as many punches as he can here. At this point, it looks as though Tillman's not trying to tee off and knock him out. He's just trying to get in as many punches before the end of the fight.
Don't push, don't push.
Mr. Steele telling him not to push. Good right hand by Booz. We can't count him out. You're right.
You never know. Anything can happen.
Yeah.
As long as they're standing and throwing punches, don't count anybody short.
They're big men, and we know this division they can punch.
I tell you, Tillman jumps at the chance to come across the ring after him. And Booz again covering up. Booz with a left and a right and a left that misses. Punching away to the body. Tillman tying him up. Less than a half minute remaining here. Seconds ticking away in round 10. It would appear that with the tick of the clock, why Booz's chances of winning this one are going out the door. This will be a fine win for Tillman, I would think, and a very disappointing showing for Tyrone Booz. There's the bell. This one is over. And for Booz, there are boos. The crowd unhappy with his performance. Tillman put his arm around his shoulder, brings him over to where Johnny Duke is. And Duke, good fight man that he is, gives Tillman a perfunctory
90. Judge Paul Smith scores 99-91. And Judge Chuck Chiampa scores 99-91 for the winner by unanimous decision, Henry Tillman.
Well, let me tell you, Sean O'Grady, that's pitching a shutout. One judge gave him every round, and the other two gave him 9 of the 10, giving Booz only 1 round. For Tyrone and for Johnny Duke and for Charlie Cruz, it was a disappointing trip west, no question about that. And we're going to talk to Tillman in just a bit and find out what his future plans are, if he's got any that he can tell us about. But for Tyrone Booz, congratulations, Henry.
Thank you, Mick.
I know you came in saying you were not going to take him lightly, but you took charge of this fight from the opening bell.
Well, that was my trainer, Mercer Smith's game plan, is to go out and set the tempo of the fight and don't let him come in and just bulldog me and let him get the momentum going. So I went out there and took control of my jab like my trainer told me to and used everything off the jab, combinations in and out.
Frankly, Sean O'Grady and I, champ, were surprised at the lack of offense that Booz showed. Now, I know you had a lot to do with that, but he just seemed to go into his shell.
Well, it was a lot to do with our hand speed that I had. My natural God-given ability is hand speed. My power come with my hand speed. I heard him a couple of times, and he was more or less playing survival a bunch of the time, so I didn't want to burn myself out.
Just trying to go the distance, wasn't he?
Right, just trying to go the 10-round distance. And that's why I came on strong in the last 2-3 rounds, to make sure that I did win the decision unanimously.
Mercer, I know a title shot. You're thinking about it all the time. Henry continues to improve. He jabbed well. He had nice combinations. And when you, I don't know whether you told him or not, but he stood toe-to-toe with Booz and hammered with him tonight. So he did almost everything right, didn't he?
Yeah, he did everything. He even counterpunched a little bit. And
I don't mean he doesn't have to go back to the gym, Mercer.
Oh, he has to definitely have to go back to the drawing board.
Yeah.
He'd always have to go back and throw. But I thought it was a good fight. This guy's tough. He's really tough.
That's right.
A very durable young man. And he tried to play little games on Henry, but Henry was really cool. And
well, now, what about Cooper? Would you go against Cooper? Would you? Huh?
Yes, I think we could fight Cooper the same exact way. And this time he'll listen.
It was a pleasure seeing you tonight. Congratulations, Mercer. Our best to you, of course. Thank you for a very fine show.
I'd like to say one thing, Mick. This fight was for Mama Smith, my trainer, Mercer Smith's mother. She just passed
I understand.
last week.
I told the audience that it was with a heavy heart that Mercer was working the corner tonight. Have a good trip back home, Mercer.